This is Nessa on ESL Top 10. Today we're looking at two future forms, will and be going to. So what's the difference? There are many myths about these two forms, but today we're going to get into the nitty and gritty and talk about what are the differences. Cue dramatic music. Bum, 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 bum. Before we get started by looking at will versus be going to, I just want to mention that there are multiple verbs, multiple structures and verb tenses we can use to talk about the future. So if you want to be an English speaking superstar, make sure you get the free PDF that goes along with this lesson where I will go over those structures with examples. So check it out. Just click the links below. So let's take a look at will. So what kind of verb is will? It fits into a category of special verbs that include should, must, can, might, may. All of these verbs are called modal verbs. What the heck is a modal verb? Why is it called a modal verb? Modal is related to modality. Modality is a way of expressing a certain state. So why are modal verbs special? Okay, let's take a look. If I gave you a sentence, if I said, I go to the doctor once a year, it's just a fact. It's just a statement. But if I add a modal verb in front of that verb go, I'm telling you something special, something more about how I feel or why I'm communicating this message. Let's take a look. I can go to the doctor once a year. I'm telling you, I have the ability. I have the possibility. Maybe. Why? Free healthcare. Thank you, Canada. Another example would be like, I should go to the doctor once a year. Now I'm saying that like this is a strong piece of advice, something that is missing in my life that I should add. That would be a good idea to add to. So let's go back to will. When we use will to talk about the future, there's almost always a specific reason. Okay, so let's take a look at a few examples. So remember, will is a modal verb. Okay, so now about the future. Here we go. Will. We often use will to express things about the future like promises. I'll be there at 7. I'm promising, right? How about a threat? I will kill you if you tell him. How about a request? Hey, will you just help me for a second? Right? How about offers? Hey, I'll lend you the money. Don't worry about it. Also for willingness, hey, I'm moving on Friday. Can you help? Sure, I'll help you. I am willing to help you. I have a desire or I am agreeing to do something. Well, that's often why we use will to express the future. So another example of will for future would be in a restaurant, perhaps, or in a coffee shop, when you are looking at the menu and then all of a sudden you have a desire. You have a clear desire or you've made a decision to do an action in the future, but at the moment of speaking. So that's why you could say in a restaurant, I'll have a Caesar salad. Or in a coffee shop, I'll have the eggnog latte. So will, very specific reasons we use it to talk about the future. That's why I did not say in my examples, I will go to the party tomorrow. That's a little bit weird. So why? Because when we want to talk about plans, when I am telling someone my plan, and I haven't just decided in the moment, I decided an hour ago, or 3 days ago, or maybe 10 years ago, I decided something I was going to do in the future, I would use be going to. So plans, whether they're near future or far future, if you've sort of made the decision before you're talking, please use be going to instead of will, please. Now, 2 more examples of will and be going to. We can use both these structures to talk about predictions. What's a prediction? A prediction is a guess. about something that is going to happen, right? So we can use will for predictions if they're kind of predictions or guesses based on our feelings, our beliefs. There's no real evidence. I just think it's true. Here's an example. Let's say there's a party happening tomorrow, and you want to tell your friend, are you going to the party? You should come. It'll be fun. So I'm saying it will be fun because I am making a guess about this thing that's going to happen, but it's based on my opinion. There's no evidence. Here's an example with be going to for the same situation. So you're talking to your friend and you want to know if they're going to the party. So you could say, hey, are you going to the party tomorrow night? There's going to be a DJ. 300 people have said they're going to the party on Facebook. It's going to be fun, right? So those are my examples of will versus be going to. I want to leave you with one last thought. There is a myth, okay? And the myth is that will is the most common future form. It's the verb we use most to talk about the future, but that is not true. Remember, if you're going to use will, make sure you know why you're using it. So this is Nessa on ESL Top 10. I hope you found that lesson helpful. If you did, please subscribe. And if you have a grammar lesson you would like to see here, just post in the comments below or shoot me an email at nessa@esltop10.com. And don't forget to get your free PDF that will go over these two forms as well as some others that you can talk about.